Today I'm visiting the desert in Oman, a big change of scenery for me after spending some time along the country's coast. I made the drive inland to experience a different side of the country, one that's often quieter and harsher, but incredibly beautiful in its own way. There are just so many landscapes you can find over here in Oman. In this video, we'll take a look at what it's like to spend the night out in the Omani desert. We'll be exploring the vast dunes, taking part in local desert life. Am I scared? Yes. And learning more about this fascinating but often overlooked part of the Arabian Gulf. To help show me around, I'll be joined by Salim, a local entrepreneur who runs his family's desert camp and gives tours of the area in his free time. But the small economy car I'd rented to drive around Oman was no match for the desert. So luckily Salim was nice enough to come pick me and my wife Rasa up in the nearby town of Bedouin and take us in his much more powerful vehicle into the desert. On the way we got a crash course about the local people or Bedouins that currently live in the desert.
Bedouin live in desert. In the past, all this is Bedouin.
Yeah.
But now it's changed. Some live here, but some families live in desert. He have a new house, but live in desert, and their school in desert. After 19 kilometers, their school to Bedouin live in desert.
So we kept talking for a while, and soon enough we got into some more bumpy terrain.
Every night, some guests they tell me we have 4x4, but it's stuck every night. Stuck in, near the camp
every night. Oh my god. For just a second, I was a little bit worried that we were going to be the stuck guests for that night. But soon enough, we were cruising through the desert again. You get many American people?
Not a lot of.
Some?
Yes, some. A lot of family from Italy, Germany, Italy, and France.
Ah, okay.
And this is your tent.
Ah, this is ours. Okay,
yes.
Cool. Oh, they know me all too well. I've got tent number 1. And this place is just breathtaking. Obviously, I've just arrived here, but my gosh. 10 out of 10? So for this kind of place, you definitely have cheaper options than this one, but this one is still quite affordable. It's like 25 Omani Rials, more or less, which breaks down to, I want to say, a little bit hard to do that right off the top of my head, but maybe $65, $68, somewhere around there. But it's really cool. It's like a luxury tent over here. A bungalow, you could say. This is actually a room for up to 3 people. It's just my wife and I staying here, but they've left amenities for 3. And there's a little bathroom over here, which I'm just really interested to see. Wow. Because I had expected the bathroom to be separate. Actually, my wife booked this, I have to say. I didn't do all the research this time, but it's not separate. It's here. And you can see, they can see my hand when I do that. So it's kind of outside, but it's like really modern, this place. I mean, you've got a shower even, sink and everything. And it's quite spacious, but I have to say it's kind of a funny place. You can feel the bouncy metal everywhere you walk. But I really like it here. And the hospitality is nice. You get some dates and some Arabic coffee. The dates are super good, very sweet. Arabic coffee is super interesting too because you can see that it looks orange. Almost looks like a Hefeweizen or something. It's not the same as your espresso, your filter coffee from America, but it's pretty good. So the hospitality over here is just beautiful. Kind of as expected, having been to the desert in other countries in the region. But the views here are a little bit different than anything I've ever seen in my life. It's just beautiful. Off this way is where I came driving from today. But all the way in the other direction is just desert, 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 and it actually goes all the way out into the sea. And to be honest, there are dozens, if not hundreds, of places you could stay out in this desert. But this one is really cool, and if I had wanted to, they have camels that they'll take you on a ride on, as well as sandboards over there that a kind French couple that's staying here are giving a try now. And they do various tour type experiences such as dune bashing and that kind of stuff. It's also quite windy out here. You might not hear the wind that well just because I've got wind protection on my microphone, but you can see all the sand blowing all the time. And if it were more windy, it might be not that comfortable actually, but as the wind is right now, it's quite comfortable. And when you walk around on the sand, you can feel the combination of the very, very soft reddish sand on your feet with the sand hitting the sides of your feet. It's almost like getting a desert massage. One thing that always surprises me walking out on sand dunes is how something can look not that high, but take a whole lot of energy to get up. Just because the sand kind of does push you back a little bit. But here I am walking up some dunes because the sunset is really soon. And if you were wondering, or at least I was wondering, this is how they get all that water for the showers and everything else here. It's just up above the camp. But let's keep walking up these dunes and see if I can't get a higher vantage point for the sunset. Yala Nimshi. So I walked for a little while, making a little break to take in the views and catch my breath. And not much further, I'd found the perfect sunset spot. But oh man, that is a view. I can't even explain to you the beauty of the silence out here as the sun sets. Amazing. So as night set in, Rasa and I headed back to camp. The Omani desert experience doesn't end at sunset though. In fact, as I'd soon find out, some people might say that's when the fun really starts. But first, I want to take a moment to thank Surfshark VPN for sponsoring this video. I've been using Surfshark for many years, and I wouldn't even consider traveling without it. By accessing the internet with Surfshark VPN turned on, you put yourself in control. Nobody can take away your freedom by restricting what websites you can access or tracking you in sneaky and unwanted ways. It really doesn't matter if you're traveling out in the desert or anywhere else in the world. If you're online, you want to be protected. Surfshark enables you to change your IP address by selecting which country your internet connection shows as being from. Just think of your IP address as the same thing as your home address, but for the internet. Without a VPN turned on, your IP address can be tracked and other personal data can be put at risk. Even if you're not traveling, you probably don't want to just share that stuff all the time with your home internet service provider either. And of course, if a website or app happens to be blocked wherever you're traveling, you can access it by changing your IP address with one simple click. And it's really not just about your basic freedom to access the whole internet wherever you happen to be. Surfshark VPN can help you do all kinds of cool stuff to make the internet more useful and more secure. I often use Surfshark to save money on travel deals by searching on different countries' websites. And that's not to mention you can do stuff like watch Canadian Netflix in the Middle East or anywhere else. So if you don't yet have Surfshark, they're not just my preferred VPN because they work great. Today they're also offering an unbeatable deal which you'll find down in the video description. Plus, if you're not completely satisfied, you can always get your money back for 30 days after purchasing. But if you use Surfshark VPN in the many ways I do, I'm pretty sure you'll be satisfied. Head down to the video description to purchase your Surfshark VPN subscription today. So as night set in, I had a quick dinner and found myself in front of a local bonfire. At some point, someone started doing what were only described to me as Bedouin fireworks. And rather suddenly, me and my wife were invited to set off into the desert for a nighttime drive. I had no clue what I was getting into. So we drove off into the darkness, seemingly quite a bit faster than we had been driving earlier in the day. About 10 minutes later, we'd pulled up to what I least expected. A desert drive-through. So nightlife in Oman doesn't consist of your typical beer, wine, or whatever. It consists of delicious coffee. And driving around in the desert like a wild man. He'll drive all the way up?
Yes.
Up, but then back down, huh?
Because no half power when
not
start,
enough.
Yes.
This car is gonna go all the way?
Yes.
All the way up?
Yes.
Okay.
But this V8.
V8. That one is
V6.
V6. Ah, you did it before? Not first time.
Not first.
Not first time. 100th
No.
time.
I live here.
Ah, all the time. Okay.
Yes.
So we stood around checking out the scene for a while. People were doing stuff with their Jeeps in the sand I'd just never seen anybody do before. So the Bedouin nightlife in the desert includes coffee, and the thing is, it's just not complete if you don't take a V8 engine up one of these sand dunes. But to go up, you've got to deflate your tires. To get up there, you've got to have a good driver. Luckily, I found this dude. He's gonna take us on up there. Am I scared? Yes. Yeah. Ooh, we made it. Easy. Me too, me too. And now down. Woo! Yalla!
You want to try again?
Okay. So as far as I can tell, this is their solution over here to having a good time on, well, tonight's a Thursday night, but I've been told that Friday nights and Saturday nights, they go all in, and it's like much more. Ooh, fireworks over there. But basically, if no alcohol is allowed, why not drink a coffee? If gas is cheap, then why not drive your car up and down a sand dune? So we hung around for a while, watching the Jeeps go up and down. There's actually some kind of competition to it that I never fully understood. At some point, some of the drivers seem to have gotten a little bored and started lighting gasoline on fire, among other things, so that seemed like a good signal to head to bed. Wait, they definitely don't have roosters out here. Let's try out a morning snake. So, they definitely do like to go a little bit crazy out here with the cars on Thursday nights. And I guess Friday and Saturday nights too. But it's still super quiet. In fact, the only thing you'd be able to hear is my voice around here. It's just so quiet. But that wind persisted a little bit more over the night. And you can see most of the footprints, like the one I just left here, are gone from the sand. And this seems to be possibly where some kind of smaller snake, or, well, I guess it would have had to have been a snake, just was going around last night. And then there are a lot of goats out here in the desert. I actually saw one last night. And I guess this is from them walking around. But I sure highly recommend sleeping out in the desert in a tent like this one. It was just super enjoyable last night. I only slept like 6 hours. But you know, when you get those 6 hours of really good sleep, it goes a long way. So I am just really happy and thankful that I got the chance to spend a night out here in this desert. But soon enough, I'm gonna have breakfast, take a little bit more of a look around in the desert here, and staying over here. It comes with a free breakfast with a view. Pretty nice. This chapati stuff, this bread is super good. No, too good. As you can see, where I was staying last night is over there. But there are actually 4 different camps here, all run by the same family. And it gets more luxury. Of course, the prices do go up and stuff. But this one is the ultimate luxury out in the desert. The Helene camp?
Helene camp.
Whoa. Jacuzzi in the desert. Yes. Crazy. Wow, man.
You like it?
I like it so far, yeah. But you know, I've got to test it.
What?
We've got to spend a night here and test it out. I mean, that's the only way.
Welcome for you.
How much does it cost per night to stay here?
45.
Oh, okay.
Yes, not
Real.
like
$110, $120.
I had $100. Yes.
Yeah.
I think so.
Not bad. Got the little bathroom over here. Is that what that?
No,
Okay.
like that.
No. Okay. Ah, okay. Slide. Oh, cool. Oh. And air conditioning.
Yes.
Wow.
What I need.
An espresso. That's nice to sleep up there. So next time, for 20 reals more, I'll stay here, I think. That's a pretty good deal, actually. You gonna build more? More like this?
No,
Only
we
Ah.
offer.
Okay. Gotcha. So this is a pretty good place, I guess. I didn't get to sleep here, unfortunately, but it seems like it would be a pretty good place to come out here and just enjoy the desert on your own. And there are really a ton of different camps out here as I'm just driving by. I mean, they're all over the place. But right now, I'm headed over to a little Bedouin village over here. Luckily, the guy running the place agreed to just drive me over before I left. But there are definitely all different kinds of ways to see the desert. I have to say, going around in this Toyota has been a pretty good one. And on the way, you can see some wildlife. There was a camel back there, and there's also these birds of prey over here. And right now I'm over at the exact same place that I was at like 10 hours ago last night. But it looks pretty vacant right now. You just got these people riding 4x4s, and all the coffee shops on the other side are all closed up. It's strange, but the tradition over here is to drink your coffee at night. Coffee shop, but they'll be open later. But if you do ever plan on visiting here, one thing to definitely keep in mind is that a lot of the desert is flat like this. I mean, it's like kind of semi-desert really. But a lot of the places out here are advertised as being in the desert, so make sure that you're actually staying somewhere in the dunes. But as flat as the desert is over here, some parts can be pretty bumpy to drive on. They're growing a lot of dates, huh?
Yes.
4x4. And out here is basically a whole network of sandy desert roads. You can drive miles and miles and miles, and you can actually get pretty fast if you got the right vehicle like we do. Pretty cool here. And I'm really excited for this. I spent some time with Bedouin people in other parts of the Middle East, but never here. Salam alaikum. Well, the first thing after greeting people is that they've got some scorpions in a cage here. Wow. And, oh my God, that's a snake. That's a big scorpion, man.
They're yellow.
Yeah.
thought they're black.
Different, some is black, some yellow.
Oh.
How do you find in the desert?
You'll find him in summer.
Yeah.
You'll see him seasonal.
Does anybody ever eat scorpion here?
No, no,
Nah,
not
not
like,
popular. A long time ago?
no, not like.
Never.
Wait.
Some countries you can find people eat
Yeah.
scorpion, yeah.
Yeah. Anything is walk, is eat him.
Yeah, yeah. Humans even. No.
Come to take this.
Oh my
I
God.
will open it.
No. It's a bracelet?
This is a bracelet, but this is gold.
Ah, okay. Gold and silver. Ah, silver.
yes.
Sorry. Yeah, I understand.
As Salim took the time to explain, these bracelets used to be worn by Bedouin women, a tradition that's no longer kept.
That is only for show.
Just to show.
Yes, but another is for salt.
This one's for Arabic coffee, yeah?
Yes.
Nice. You like Arabic coffee more than the regular?
Yes, I like it Arabic coffee.
Ah, okay.
It's very nice. I like it. I don't like it like last night. Like,
Yeah.
You didn't
European
I
coffee.
don't like-
No.
And among many other things, there was frankincense for sale.
Yeah.
Ah, 2 real. Oh, okay. I'll just bring this back home with me. It smells so good. I think it'll smell good for me at home too.
Okay,
Shukran.
So Salim got to showing us a few more of the traditional Bedouin items. And we learned a little bit about the recent history of Oman.
Because we don't have like this before 15
Ah.
years, nothing.
50, 50, 50. Yeah. But they found the oil,
After 1970s, change Oman story.
everything.
Yes,
Okay.
change.
Lots of oil money.
Yeah.
But one thing I had found in the past on my other visits to other Arabic-speaking countries is that the Bedouins living there will often have like camps with a huge tent where you can sleep, kind of like a hostel. And I didn't find that here. Although I did really like the type of place I stayed at. But this is exactly what that kind of tent would look like. You can see the floor here was just sand, but over here they've got the carpets. It's quite nice to walk here as well, between sand and carpets. And everything is just surrounded by a bunch of old historical artifacts of the desert nomadic culture that they've got over here in Oman. It's a very interesting place to visit. And there's a whole lot of camel bones over here. That's the first time I've ever touched a camel bone. Kind of feels chalky.
But it was time to leave, and on the drive back out of the desert, Salim told me about how he'd had a construction company before the pandemic.
Yeah.
And they have manpower, they're 30%, and they
Wow.
have 4-person engineer.
Okay.
This certainly reminded me of my own past working as a teacher, barista, and travel blogger. It's funny how no matter where you go on this planet, you'll always find you have more in common with people than not. So make sure to share this video, hit that like button, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.
Shukran.
And if you want anything here in Oman, if it's coming for you, any problem here, you can send for us, we'll help you. We are like your family here in Oman.